You picture a universal translator, and, your mind probably goes straight to sci-fi. Two aliens meet, tap a little badge, and suddenly they understand each other. But what if the impossible communication gap isn't between aliens, but between, like, a modern fiber optic IT network and a 30-year-old analog speaker sitting in a sports bar? Welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at a specific piece of hardware from HDTV Supply that bridges that exact gap. It's the Advanced Network Devices Zone Low Zone Lineout Controller.
Yeah, and at roughly $500, it is a serious piece of equipment. So we're going to decode why this unassuming metal box has become a really critical tool for modern infrastructure.
Okay, let's unpack this. $500 for a metal box that weighs exactly 1 pound and is, barely bigger than a paperback book. That seems incredibly steep just to plug an amplifier into a network. What am I missing here?
Well, it sounds steep until you realize the labor it actually replaces. The physical footprint is just 8 by 6 inches. It's tiny by design.
Right.
Which means an installer can hide it right up in a drop ceiling next to legacy audio gear. It solves a massive architectural headache. You don't need to rip open walls to run new, heavy copper speaker wire all the way back to a central server closet.
Oh, wow, yeah. And looking at the physical connections, it is remarkably minimalist. It outputs to a standard amplifier via an RCA line out, but the input is literally just one single cable. It relies entirely on power over Ethernet.
Right, which is where the real leverage is for anyone managing a building. If you're outfitting a massive campus, you don't need to hire an electrician to install new high-voltage wall outlets near every speaker. You just run a standard network cable.
Makes sense.
And it supports standard PoE and PoE+, handling up to 30 watts. That higher wattage capability is crucial because, driving audio equipment requires real power.
Yeah, so you're combining your high-speed data stream and your power supply into one single wire, pulling straight from the network switch. Think of it like a digital embassy on analog soil. It takes all the high-speed digital laws of the computer network and physically translates them into the analog voltage that a traditional amplifier understands.
That embassy metaphor hits the nail on the head, because to act as that translator, the hardware needs some serious diplomatic skills, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The true value driving that price tag is actually the software packed inside. It features a built-in web server and comes with its own clockwise campus software, while also, playing nice with third-party platforms.
Yeah, looking at the spec sheet here, it claims to support a massive alphabet soup of protocols. I see IPv4, IPv6, HTTP, DHCP, and something called SIP. Now, if I'm just trying to push a simple voice announcement to a speaker, why does this box need to speak so many heavy-duty internet languages?
Well, because it's fundamentally transforming a dumb analog speaker into an intelligent remote IT node. Take DHCP, for example.
Okay.
On a sprawling enterprise network, DHCP allows this box to automatically find its own IP address and configure itself. And network admin doesn't have to manually program it.
So it's essentially plug and play on a corporate scale.
Yeah, that's the efficiency of it. And that SIP integration you mentioned, Session Initiation Protocol, is the real game changer here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. SIP is the standard protocol that internet-based phone systems use to route calls. Because this audio controller speaks SIP natively, it seamlessly ties directly into an enterprise VoIP system.
Wait, so you could literally pick up a digital desk phone in an office in London, dial a specific extension, and that audio routes through the internet, hits this controller, and pages a specific analog speaker in a warehouse in Chicago.
Yes. The complex audio routing is managed entirely in the digital realm before it ever converts to an analog signal. That is the power of those protocols working together.
Wow. So what does this all mean for you listening? Whether you are upgrading a local restaurant or a sprawling university, traditional AV as a separate, isolated silo is basically dead. It's all IT now.
Yeah, you no longer hire an audio guy to pull heavy copper wire. You hire a network engineer to run Cat6 cable, and you use endpoint controllers like the Zone Low to translate that network data into sound at the very last second.
Right, it's total convergence.
It's an elegant solution, but, it also reveals a total reliance on central network uptime. We are taking physical infrastructure like our PA systems, our emergency broadcasts, on our campus bells, and making them entirely dependent on the standard Ethernet network.
Yeah, meaning if the network switch goes down, the speaker goes silent, the universal translator has nothing left to translate.
Exactly.
Which leaves you with a pretty massive question to think about. If we continue to converge every isolated old-school analog system onto our digital networks for the sake of efficiency, what happens to our most basic, critical safety communications during a targeted cyber attack.